Portland. Let's take a listen.
Let you go in whatever order you want to go till Jennifer tells me I've said something stupid and we need to stop.
She said something.
So, Mayor, we're on live right now on Coin 6 News. Can you tell us how the city is doing so far with its response to the snow, in your opinion?
Well, I think the city's done a very good job. Obviously, the PBOT road crews have been out in force 24/7. This is about our third severe weather event in a row. They're doing their level best to keep the streets passable, but let's be honest. We've got a foot of snow. We're starting to see some ice. We're encouraging people to stay away from the roads. If you have to be out, we encourage you to use TriMet, trip check. You will most certainly have delays. If you're on a state highway, you're going to be expected to have chains. You'll be ticketed if you don't have chains. So the best advice today is the advice that people are obviously taking, just looking around us. Stay inside or consider walking or using transit.
In terms of our homes and people living in the Portland area, what do we need to do in terms of sidewalks, things like that around our house? What are we responsible for?
Well, to the degree that you're able, you're responsible for keeping your own sidewalk clear. And, I understand there's a lot of people who aren't able to do that. There's people with disabilities. There are people who are older. So today is one of those good days to get to know your neighbor. If you see that your neighbor hasn't cleared their sidewalk or they're not able to, maybe that's a good time to go knock on the door and introduce yourself to the neighbor and offer to do a good deed.
This doesn't look to be going away anytime soon. What's the plan going forward?
So our understanding is that the beautiful snow we're seeing here is going to freeze. So I'm expecting that the soft, fluffy snow that people have been skiing on the streets is actually going to be a sheet of ice come morning. PBOT's going to be doing everything they can to clear and sand those roads. We're looking at the possibility of bringing in resources from the outside to help with that. But I'm expecting that tomorrow is going to be a pretty treacherous day.
We know that city offices are closed today. Do you expect them to be closed again tomorrow if there are those kinds of safety issues?
Safety is obviously a priority. That's a cliche because safety is a priority, and I do care about the people who work downtown. And we also want to set a good example for the others who work in the downtown area. That being said, I always lean against closures. So if we're closing it, it has to be a situation like this where there's a good reason for it. We'll have calls this afternoon, one this evening, and I'll make the final call at about 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning on our final call.
When you're talking about bringing outside resources in, what are we talking about and what's the timeline for that to come here to Portland?
We're in preliminary conversations with other jurisdictions outside of the metro area. I don't have a timeline and I'm not ready to make any announcements. I'm just saying we're trying to stay ahead of this. What I think people need to understand is they will be inconvenienced for the rest of the week. We're not expecting temperatures to get above freezing until sometime this weekend. So the snow is going to turn hard, it's going to become ice, and it's going to be with us for a little while. I do also want to mention that first responders are out in force, the police and the fire bureau. The fire bureau has 2 vans that they've deployed to pick up people who are living on the streets who might want to get to a shelter and to transport shelter employees as well as personal items. Again, I want to put out the call. If you're just walking down your sidewalk and you see somebody living on the street and they look like they're in distress, please call 911. If they just want to get warm and dry, please call 211 for shelter availability. We have now 600 severe weather shelter beds that are open for this incident. We've opened the Portland building 24/7. We have enough capacity. We are not going to turn anyone away who wants to come inside, and we will provide transportation. So I'm just really calling on people as you're out and about in your neighborhood. If you see somebody who looks like they need a little bit of help, don't be reluctant to call 911 for distress, or 211 if they look like they need or express an interest in coming inside tonight. We really want to make that happen.
If we continue to see days of slick, icy conditions, how do you maintain this level of response and maintenance to the roads?
Well, that's not an easy question to answer. We're already in about our 3rd severe weather incident. The PBOT crews, Portland Bureau of Transportation crews, they've been out plowing and sanding 24/7. And people have limits. So far, they haven't reached those limits. They're still in the game. We're still working hard. We're still out there 24/7, and I expect that to continue. And if we find that we don't have the capacity to do it here on our own, then obviously we're open to the idea of reaching out to resources outside of the Portland metro area.
What are the biggest problems you're seeing right now? Is it the roads? Is it the trees? A combination of both at this point?
Well, the problem is all of the above. We've had a lot of big trees come down. We have power outages sporadically throughout the city. Obviously, there are some major transportation issues. And again, I'm encouraging people at this point, please just stay off the street. Very little is open in this city. Government isn't open. The private sector isn't open. Schools aren't open. There really isn't there aren't many reasons why people need to be out and about unless they're hospital workers, shelter workers, people who are really in a critical position where they need to be at work. But again, we're encouraging people to use transit or check Trip Check before you go.
This isn't necessarily something that I imagine is on your mind right now, but can you give me the process as a new mayor for how you're going to analyze the response and what you can learn from it, and then what can be improved upon for future storms if they come?
Yeah, from my perspective, this is all new. I think I'm 1 week into my tenure as mayor, and here we are standing in front of City Hall on what appears to be a pretty good powder day. Yeah. I will be debriefing with all of our first responders, the Police Bureau, the Fire Bureau, Portland Bureau of Transportation, public health providers, the Joint Office of Homeless Services, and we'll be having a frank conversation. What worked, what didn't work, where did we need more capacity, where did we have too much capacity. My gut is telling me right now one area that I'd like to see improvement is how we use volunteers. I'm getting tons of calls, tons of emails, tons of tweet and Facebook posts from people saying, hey, I'm really concerned about people outside. I want to help. How can I help? And I want to capture that energy and enthusiasm and determination in this community and put it to good use. So right now I'm just telling people, watch out for your fellow neighbors. And again, if somebody's in distress, pick up that phone and call 911. You are not inconveniencing anybody.
Okay, Mayor Ted Wheeler with a very informal news conference outside City Hall as he's standing in 13 inches of snow. But you heard the mayor say, time to watch out for your neighbors. So if you have elderly neighbor in your neighborhood, this is the time to go over there, shovel that walkway, make sure they're okay. Do they have enough food? Any problems? This is the time neighbors check on neighbors right now because folks are having a hard time getting around.
As well as the homeless. We know the mayor went walking around checking in on some of the known homeless camps in town to make sure that they're okay. The Fire Bureau has 2 vans out that will be bringing people to shelters if need be, and Mayor Wheeler also said they will be bringing people to shelters if need be.
Okay, we touch base with Governor Kate Brown. Her press secretary tells us the governor was briefed this morning and continues